In 1899, in Freiburg, Germany, two chemists named Baumann and Fromm were attempting to distill a new molecule. To their surprise, they began to receive complaints from their neighbors 3/4 of a mile away of a terrible putrid smell that was causing vomiting, nausea, and fainting. My name is Ben from O-Chem Condensed, and this is the story of thioacetone. The news of a horrible smell traveling for almost a mile was a surprise to Baumann, who had anticipated that his new concoction would be smelly, but not nearly that bad. The structure of thioacetone is similar to acetone, a commonly used nail polish remover, where the oxygen atom has been replaced by sulfur, which makes it much smellier. When sulfur is bound with oxygen, it loses its odor, like dimethyl sulfoxide, an odorless liquid. But when it's bound to carbon or hydrogen, it produces terrible smells, like dimethyl sulfide, which smells either like boiled cabbage or rotting seaweed. The peculiar thing to Baumann was that he had smelled thioacetone up close and hadn't been overwhelmed by the smell. Instead, it appeared that the innocent inhabitants of Freiburg had experienced the much worse fate. Less than a year later, in 1890, thioacetone struck again. In Leeds, England, Dr. Lukowitz attempted to reproduce Baumann's work. He was interrupted by two employees working a few hundred feet away who came into the lab complaining of an awful smell, making them lose their lunch. Dr. Lukowitz had barely smelled anything, but had confirmed that thioacetone seemed only to be dangerously smelly when diluted in air. In 1967, when ESSO workers were isolating thioacetone, a stopper popped off a flask for no more than a second before being resealed. And yet employees throughout the building began to complain of nausea and vomiting. The ESSO workers were intrigued by this potent smell and took the bottle of thioacetone to an open field. One of them dropped a single drop on a glass slide, and within seconds, his colleague standing 1/3 of a mile downwind was assaulted with an olfactory nightmare. It is still unknown what gives thioacetone this peculiar property of smell and dilution. I, for one, have no intention of finding out. If you enjoyed the content of this video, hit the subscribe button for more O-Chem condensed videos. And as always, thanks for watching.